Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Thomas Spark. Welcome back to another video. I've had a subscriber email me probably like 20 times asking me to review Adguard VPN. Make sure to check out the VPN quiz and the tier list at vpntierlist.com. You could take the quiz to find the perfect VPN for you with handpicked selection of questions to help you find the perfect VPN, and check the tier list for the top rated options here on the channel. Anyways guys, back to the Adguard VPN review. Now I don't typically like to review VPNs under antivirus or as kind of like side projects of other projects. Adguard VPN is kind of like their side project. I know their main business is kind of like a kind of Adguard DNS, Adguard kind of blocker, ad blocker. That's primarily what they are known for. So I was kind of hesitant to dive into this one just for that reason. But I decided it's probably a good time to review it anyways. It's a kind of free VPN with a premium model. You get around 3 gigabytes of free. It honestly has a decent list of locations as well. One of my main things though right off the bat with this one is that it's annoying to find the pricing page. You can click purchase, but I do believe you kind of have to be like either logged into your account or something. I don't really know what the issue was when I was trying to figure it out. Maybe I was on the wrong product page or something like that. Something about the website makes it hard to figure out when you can actually purchase it and see the pricing. It doesn't seem to be an issue right now. I'm not sure why. I could find the pricing here, but I did have an issue before. So something with the website's a little bit clunky, but the pricing is kind of expensive too, in some ways. The 1 month is $12, which is pretty pricey among the priciest VPN offerings, Express, Nord, and stuff like that. 1 year admittedly is pretty good price. It's $4 a month or $48 a year. The 2-year plan is around $72 for 2 years, which is actually a pretty good deal. Unfortunately though, they don't have a 3-year plan, although since this is something you might not be sure about, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but we do like to see good deals for 3 years as well, especially for VPNs we like. The downside is there's only 5 simultaneous devices, which is kind of a bummer since other VPNs offer around 8 to 10, and that's kind of what we look for in our tier list system. The good news is you do get 30-day money-back guarantee, so that's nice. And I also like VPNs that do kind of offer free trials just so you can play around with it a little bit before deciding to buy it. So if we're looking at points for this specific session, the pricing section, we're going to give it points for having a good 1 year and 2 year model. Additionally, the good thing about Adguard is it doesn't seem to have any timers on its website, incentivizing you to purchase it quicker, and there doesn't seem to be an increase after the first term, which is not going to be a case for the next VPN we're going to review on the channel, something we're looking at next, Avast VPN. So stay tuned for that if you're interested. Alright guys, let's get into the application. So guys, this is what the application looks like. One thing about it is I always seem to be disconnected. I don't know why. It's always connecting me. There's probably some kind of setting in here that connects you automatically right here. I don't know why, but this application feels more aggressive with that than other ones. Sometimes these aren't enabled by default, but this one enables it by default. So it's connected right off the boot. Overall, the application isn't bad. It does have some interesting things, like specific websites to not use it. So it's kind of like a weird form of browser split tunneling. It also has split tunneling on applications. So it's very good with that kind of stuff. It does have kill switches, which is nice. But the weird thing about this VPN is it has its own protocol, and it's kind of vague on, how that operates or what it's doing. You have the VPN here through their VPN protocol, and you have pretty much a thing called a quick, which is some kind of experimental encryption stuff, and some IP exclusion stuff, which is kind of interesting. So it kind of goes in interesting directions in terms of what it offers in terms of its settings, but for some of the stuff we're looking at, it doesn't offer that. Like I said, it doesn't have WireGuard. It uses its own protocol, which I'm not really, the page itself is pretty vague about it. It says it wanted to create its own protocol because it believed it would be better, but I would rather use an open source protocol vetted by industry experts like WireGuard, which pretty much every VPN uses and is the fastest one. Additionally, my speeds on Adguard are not too impressive, which we'll be going to in the next section, so it doesn't really look like the VPN protocol they made is really that good. It does have kill switches, split tunneling, browser extensions, and ad blocking. It is missing Fire Stick support. It does not have obfuscation, which I could find. It does not have a Linux UI, port forwarding, dedicated IP support, and the application itself is not open source. So definitely a couple things it's missing that other VPNs do better, so keep that in mind. Application in and of itself is kind of basic. Additionally, I did find this Reddit post saying they do not support P2P, which is interesting. I'm gonna have to test that out right now. All right, so we do have this torrent file loaded in the Brave browser through their kind of web torrent application. It doesn't seem to be downloading right now, which could be a bad sign. This VPN could not work for P2P, which is definitely disappointing considering that's one of the main use cases people have for VPNs nowadays. So yeah, not a good look. I don't even test this just because I assume almost every VPN should and would work with P2P. It used to happen more back in the day, not so much anymore, so this is very disappointed. So overall, I double checked on some of these things like port forwarding. It does not support it. It doesn't even support torrenting. So definitely as an application, it kind of sucks. Next up, we're going to do a speed test, and we could show you the speeds I get with Adguard connected and without. For some reason, I have to use Google speed test lately. Speedtest.net is not working very well with my ISP. I don't know why. I'm getting crazy speed test results that aren't accurate at all. So this is probably the most accurate result I've been getting lately. I don't know why. It just seems to work better. So we're getting around 30 megabits per second download with this, which is very, very slow and kind of indicative of what I should be getting. With the Adguard, not very good. 29 and 29. Let's see what I can get without it, just as a comparison to see, the capabilities. Well, actually, these are my speeds with Seattle. So let's go ahead and reload this, and we might be able to get a better speed test. Okay, yeah, this is what I was expected to get. So using the Seattle server with Adguard, crappy speeds. This is the speeds I should be getting. So definitely not good. If we connect to something like Torguard, top rated VPN on the channel, check out the review if interested. I like to use this as a benchmark test for my speed since it does seem to be the best speeds for me specifically and other people on the channel too. Very good VPN. Let's go ahead and reload the page. We'll use Seattle server again and compare it to Adguard's performance. Adguard was giving us around 20 megabits per second. As you can see with Torguard, we're getting much, much better speeds. Of course, we're using the Seattle server, so it's a little different, but getting really good speeds here, 10 times as fast as Adguard. In fact, I gave it a 2 out of 5 to be generous, but I'm actually gonna lower that to a 1 out of 5. We're gonna give it 5 out of 5 for the countries supported though, since it does have a decent amount of countries supported. Next up, we can talk about the privacy audit and how does it do here. Strangely enough, pretty well. Adguard, while its VPN product so far has not impressed me very much, it does impress me in terms of its privacy, its company, and back-end kind of care for privacy. As you can see here, there's no ad trackers on the website, and nothing really tracking you whatsoever. In fact, it's just the same on Android as well, which is very good and privacy friendly. Additionally, with some of the other things like that, they have 2FA, they do not collect logs, there's no history of mismanaged data leaks, and no company acquisitions from what I could find. The only improvement they can make is a third-party audit from a reputable company to make sure they aren't leaking anything, collecting logs, or anything like that. So other than that, though, it's a pretty decent privacy audit for Adguard VPN. Not perfect, but pretty good overall. Next up, we can talk about the customer support section, and I'm going to give them a 0 out of 5 for the under 1 hour response. It's been around, 15 or 16 hours, and I've had no response from Adguard yet. I'm going to give them a point for the 24-hour response as of right now, but I might retract that later on after this video if they still not have responded. I'm not going to keep waiting around. I want to get this review done and published so you guys can see it, and waiting on them to respond to support is something I can't really put much more detail or work into. It's just a waiting game. So as of right now, I'm going to give them 5 points to be generous for the 24-hour response. But after this video, if they still not have responded by around 2 or 3 o'clock today, it's now around 10 a.m. If they do not respond by then, I'm going to be lowering the score even more. So if you're interested in that, has a decision to buy this one, make sure to check back in the review section. All right, guys, let's go ahead and start wrapping up this review. In terms of streaming, Adguard actually does pretty well, probably due to the combination of DNS and some of those things, and some of their proxy capabilities. It does seem that they are able to unblock the Netflix proxy error and work decently well for the other streaming services too. So that's actually probably one of the best things about Adguard VPN, is that they did okay for streaming actually, which isn't always that easy to do, which again, we'll see in our next review with Devyzed VPN. It does not do well there. So guys, in conclusion, how does Adguard VPN do on the tier list? Well, it's a tier 3 VPN. It's fine. It does have some serious cons. You know, in terms of the privacy audit and streaming, it does pretty well. You know, I was actually impressed with some of the having no trackers and stuff like that. Its application is okay, but I don't like that it doesn't use WireGuard. The speeds are not very good, which leads me to believe they should be using WireGuard to get better performance out of this one. Additionally, the pricing is kind of expensive month to month, but admittedly is pretty affordable long term. Overall, is this a VPN I recommend here on the channel? Well, not really. The speeds just aren't good enough, the application is underpowered, and it is kind of expensive to try out after the free trial term, especially month to month. Customer support also seems to be pretty slow, which leads me to believe they're not putting too much attention into this product, or at least they need more in the future. Anyways guys, those are just my unbiased thoughts on this one. Check the tier list, description down below, for any VPNs you might be interested in. Take the VPN quiz to find out which is the best VPN for you, and I'll see you again very soon.